that someday you will be fully established in Krishna consciousness and will be completely happy. Right? He wants us to know this is possible. It's not that he gave you a process and it's impossible. No, he's saying it's possible. But you have to be patient and tolerant. There's going to be so many difficulties. You know, you look at your hand, look at the 5 fingers, they're all different shape. So we are like that. So we can't get along. But look, they all get along. That's why you can hold a fist and punch away all the nonsense in your life. So what does it mean? It means everyone who walks through that door, that temple door, is a potential Satyakama Jabali. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing is everyone who walks through, they are the guests of Shri Radha Shyama Sundar. You have to see like that. And then you will react accordingly. If you don't change the way you see things, then you react according to that mode that is covering you. Then you learn to tolerate those people. Oh, this is a guest. And then you say something and then they're like, ah, and then you're like, oh, okay. But you tolerate because they are guests of the Lord. Or maybe a very potential pure devotee, you never know. There was a devotee once, Srila Prabhupada was walking, I'm not sure, maybe it was in LA, temple or San Diego, and he was on the ground, lying down, and it was very dirty, you know. And the devotee is like, Prabhupada, this person is like that. Prabhupada looked at them and said, leave him alone, he'll be okay. So many years later, he became, they called him what, Crazy Peter. I think His Holiness Giriraj Swami writes that. And then many years later, he is Kusakrata Prabhu, who translated so many of the Shastras. So you never know who's going to walk through that door. But you have to be aware of this. So we need to cultivate our Brahminical qualities also. You can't just say, okay, I'm here, I got initiated, I'm safe. No, you're not. You're just starting. Yeah. So you need to cultivate Brahminical qualities. Chapter 18, Samodhamastapa Socham Shanti Rajam Mevacha Jnanam Vijnanam Astikyam Brahma Karma Svabhavajam. This Shanti is meaning tolerance. Shanti. So question, you should look at this verse and ask yourself, am I a Brahmana based on this verse? Maybe not everything, so work on it. At least be tolerant. And if you're a Brahmana, your work is to cultivate and teach these qualities to others. Right? So as devotees, you help others. Hey, be peaceful, be tolerant. So then they will understand everyone here is tolerant, you know. And then they'll also take up the process nicely. Okay, next verse. Bhagavan api govindo. This is in the purport in Canto 1, Chapter 14, Text 34. This is nice. Lord Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who gives pleasure to the cows, the senses, and the brahmanas. Without cow protection and cultivation of Brahminical qualities in human society, at least for a section of the members of society, no human civilization can prosper at any length. So it's important that we cultivate these Brahminical qualities and cow protection. Prabhupada continues in the purport, by Brahminical culture or the development of the dormant qualities of goodness, namely truthfulness, equanimity, sense control, forbearance. simplicity, general knowledge, transcendental knowledge, and firm faith in Vedic wisdom, one can become a Brahmana and thus see the Lord as He is. So again, we need to practice. And He's promising, He says, one can become a Brahmana and thus see the Lord. You can see the Lord. How do you see Him? You see Him as a loving proprietor, master, friend, son, or lover. And it still continues. The stage of a devotee which attracts the transcendental affection of the Lord does not develop unless one has developed the qualities of a Brahmana as above mentioned. Prabhupada highlights this. And then he says, the Lord is inclined to a Brahmana of quality and not of false prestige. Those who are less than a Brahmana by qualification cannot establish any relation with the Lord. We are talking about developing qualities. We're not talking about born Brahmanas. That's not what we are talking about. That means each and every one of us can develop these qualities if you act on it. If you are Krishna conscious, the Krishna will bless you with these qualities. Okay, we'll continue. Srila Prabhupada wanted to develop the Brahminical culture to guide the world. In the ideal Vedic society, the king, soldiers and other passionate men were always submissive to the instructions of the Brahmanas who were situated in the mode of goodness. So unless you have these qualities, it's very hard for you to guide other people. It's not going to be easy. So we practice, and then you'll find that because you are sincerely trying to help people, Krishna will allow you to do that. And everyone else will say, this person is Brahminical because they are sharing their knowledge. They are helping me elevate my consciousness. At all times, the Brahmanas are endowed with foresight and forbearance. That means in spite of difficulties, they see the future of that individual. Your potential is what they recognize. So devotees must recognize the potential of anyone walking through that door. How can I help them to attain that potential? A devotee, a servant of Shri Radha Shyama Sundar. Yeah. And when we think like that, then we come up with so many different ways of helping that individual. Always trying to help. Always having time for them, putting aside our own needs sometimes. So that's forbearance. That's cultivating their Krishna consciousness. And that's important.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Shankun Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I'd like to hear from everybody, Mataji, then maybe I'll say something.
Okay, yeah, sure, Prabhu, thank you. Yeah, Hare Krishna. So, any questions or anything, any sharing that you liked, realizations from Prabhuji's class? Prabhu, I would like to add only one liner here. I actually like the way Prabhuji was, he highlighted the intolerance and patience in blue, right? So that highlight itself was, was very helpful for me to actually, sing, map it with the other lines, Prabhu. Very wonderfully said, right? For everything, the base was patience, right? For patience, and only then the tolerance comes. So wonderfully put. I mean, Prabhuji has put it over here in lines, Prabhu. Many things, as I was saying, that it is very difficult for me to connect to Krishna. But as Prabhu was saying that until unless I do not have the patience, right, I would try to see the devotees when I come to temple, saying that oh, that devotee is chanting. Certain times we have this polling, right, Prabhu? I see that people are chanting 32 rounds, right? And somewhere I feel that, probably I'm not able to reach there. Like, go and, try to imitate others, right? I mean, okay, I should also go and reach 32 rounds or something like that, right? So once I have patience and trust on Krishna and Prabhupada and Guru, right? Until then, I once I have that, so probably as Prabhuji was saying that, Prabhupada will start liking, and Krishna will like, and then we will definitely reach that stage of devotion, right? Where we are, where we are supposed to be, right? So thank you so much, Prabhu. That's it. Anybody else? Oh, sorry.
Hare Krishna,
Sabri
Prabhuji and Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Am I audible?
Yes, Prabhu, you're audible, yeah.
So, Prabhuji and Prabhuji, what situation comes in very good conditions, responding night, but
Prabhu, your voice is
as
breaking,
Voice
Prabhu.
is
I don't know.
breaking, Prabhu.
Chandran, Prabhu, your voice
let
was
me come.
yeah.
Now, please let me know whether is it okay, improved.
Better, Prabhu.
This is fine.
Okay. So my question was, whenever the situation is okay, like we behave in very patient way, cool and calm. That's when the situation becomes adverse, bad, like we lose our patience and tolerance. So how we should develop this quality? Even Prabhuji was telling we should develop the Brahminical qualities. So okay, we should develop, but the question is how we should develop, how we should cultivate these qualities in us, because I feel that I don't have and I have to. Then how? This is the question for me.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu, for the question. Shamkun, Prabhu, would you like to answer?
That there are stalwart devotees here in this call. Everybody can also say. You can ask them too. Please ask them too.
Yeah, definitely.
And we'll keep this question. I have some thoughts on it too. But
Yeah,
both Sharbari Mataji and Sanatan Gopraj Prabhu too have something to say. We'll cover Chandan Prabhu's question too after maybe hearing what they have to say. Maybe they have an answer for this.
yeah. Shabri Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. I mean, I wanted to comment on today's lecture. So beautiful. And what is really beautiful is a Brahmin is not by birth, but is by developing Brahminical qualities, which mainly means being patient and tolerant. So that is what I wanted to share, Mataji. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for sharing. Sanatan, Prabhu?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Actually, he has given a new dimension thing. Like normally, we talk about dormant love of Krishna, but he says dormant Brahminical qualities. Everybody has got a dormant Brahminical quality. That's what he says. And one should recognize the potential and Brahminical qualities. The foresight and forbearance also they also indicate. That means everybody is potentially good. They have to be brought up, cultured, nourished into Brahminical qualities. It's really a new dimension because I was thinking only dormant love of Krishna, but everybody is fundamentally good. They have dormant Brahminical qualities within themselves. It has been brought up. That's a very nice way of. I really like the thought and the dimension. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for talking about that. Thank you. Shambhali Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah, I like the point very much that where Prabhu said that everyone who is entering the temple gate is like guest for the Lord. Guest, they are guests, and we have to welcome them with heart, and if we see that they are in, guests of the Lord, then our patience will increase, and the treating how we treat with them is also different. And if we don't do that, then our modes will come to dealing with them. Uh, our uh, our nature will come. So that one helped me to see further how I'm going to behave with others, something like that, and increase the patience. And one more point about Chandan Prabhu's question. In the same lecture, Prabhu has told that when we are in that kind of difficult situations, we need to pray to the Lord. That will give us energy. That is my experience also. So that's what I want to share. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. I actually did not, I missed that line, but you brought it up, Mataji. Thank you so much. Like when a devotee enters, I mean, when a person enters the temple, right? So thank you. Hare Krishna Sulochana Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I like that one point, like Prabhu mentioned, like Prabhupada cultivated all the Brahminical qualities and he set the example to the all people. And also, we've seen like all Prabhupada disciples, whoever is there, they are strictly following and they are setting the example, like Achar Prachar. That point, I liked it very much, Mataji. And next, he told like to know about that Prabhupada and all the Acharyas and all like that, we need to read the books. So, and he told like, if we are not reading the books, even weekly ones also, then get out like that. That like little, it's touched me. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So much, Mataji. Any other questions? Deelalit Prabhu, would you like to add something here, Prabhu?
No, nothing is it, Mataji. Thank you.
Rajeshwari Mataji, any points from your side?
Mataji, I'm cooking and listening, not much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yeah, what Sulochana Mataji said, same thing it stuck with me. If we want to know the mood of our Guru or Srila Prabhupada or Acharyas, we have to hear from them and we have to study the scriptures regularly. Then we will know the mood of Acharyas and based on that we can act accordingly. So that I liked it very much, Mataji, and we have to read it regularly. If you don't have a chance to read regularly, we have to read at least once in a week or hear once in a week. That's what Prabhu said. And coming to Chandan Prabhu's question, Prabhuji, actually, we have to associate with the devotees. What for all the questions, what Maharaj says is we have to associate with the devotees. When we are associating with the devotees who has that quality, then we'll serve them. We'll try to associate with them. We'll hear from them. We'll serve them. Then we'll cultivate those qualities. We'll be able to cultivate those qualities. And also, Samali Mataji said we have to pray to the Lordships, and also take the blessings from the senior Vaishnavas. I am struggling with these kind of bad quality. So I need to develop those qualities. Please bless me. So those kind of things will help us to develop those qualities, Prabhu. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for
Thank you, Prabhuji.
observations. And,
Just I want to add one more point about tolerance. These are how we can develop like that. Just want to add like even when we can ask ourselves, are we perfect? Are we really in the highest stage or something? because Acharyas, Prabhupada is tolerating us, Guru Maharaj is tolerating us. If we are perfect means we are in somewhere, but they are tolerating our so many incapabilities or anything. Because are we chanting quality chanting, or are we hearing attentive hearing? These all if we ask ourselves, then if we see in others, then why we are not tolerating them? If our seniors or anyone is tolerating us means, why we are not tolerating others like that? So we can introspect ourselves and try to be patient with them and try to understand and like that. Just thought of adding this point. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for adding these points. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Vinodini Mataji, you want to add something, Mataji? All right. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Shamkun, Prabhu. Over to you, Prabhu.
Okay. So Chandan Prabhu, your question help me understand, help me know if I told it correctly, if I got it correctly. How do we come to the stage of being a Brahmana? Is that the sum and substance of your question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
And one more thing I had added in the like devotee community. First of all, devotee doesn't do any mistakes, and if something we found also, that time we automatically like patience and tolerance comes. But whenever we deal in the real life, and someone does some mistakes or anything goes wrong, automatically like the angry and things like goes in, it is toss. We lose our patience, tolerance. But I feel that being a devotee,
So the Brahmanas are
we should show that time the real tolerance and patience, so that the people can understand this, we are devotees, so that it will impact their life also. So this is my problem. I don't behave like that.
Yeah, I mean, you are a very brave soul who can come forward and tell in front of 25 other participants that you are not like that. Most of us are also in the same boat, Prabhu. Yeah. So it's commendable that you are able to even tell it. It's the humility on your part to even say so. We are all a work in progress. But having said that, before coming to your core question too, the other part that maybe with one set of people whom you call as devotees, we are patient, but the other set of people whom we call as non-devotees, we may not be patient. Ideally, we should never make such distinctions. It is not about this community, that community, this kind of people. It's one and the same. It's almost one and the same. That's it. So you are right that we should behave uniformly. But the catch is, you mentioned the word so that others also get to know how devotees are like. One thing which we should be very careful of is, we are not here to showcase something. The more we think that I have to behave in a particular way so that people think like this, and then they get attracted to it. It is very troublesome to the heart after some point in time. And then whoever is doing that will begin to feel, I am leading a dual life. Sometimes I'm like this, sometimes I'm like that. Why should I lead a dual life? So it is better not to have the motivation that what will others think. It's good. I mean, it's good in the sense that society, when we live in a society which has certain restrictions, like say traffic rules, it helps everybody to have some safety in life. That's correct. But that cannot be the core motivation alone. It can be ancillary, subsidiary, secondary thing, but it cannot be the main thing at all. And we should try to minimize that. Otherwise, we become great actors, great imposters. That's one thing, Prabhu, but that's not your main point as such. To an extent, the answer to your question was actually given by Sanatan Gopurach, Prabhu. he caught it. Prasadhan Gopiraj Prabhu caught the point very nicely for all of us, and he emphasized it very nicely too. That the Sanatan Gopiraj's point was that, like, we need to come to the stage of like how Prabhu brought up from Prabhupada's teachings, that we need to come like Krishna consciousness is dormant is what we normally think, but even this mode of being cultivating the Brahminical qualities is also dormant in us. Why? The fundamental philosophical reason for that is, unless one comes to the mode of goodness, one cannot come to the mode of pure goodness. And that pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva, is the one which allows us to enter into Vaikuntha. Why is Shuddha Sattva required to enter into Vaikuntha? Because Vaikuntha is made of Shuddha Sattva. There is no Rajas, no mode of passion, no Tamas, no ignorance. So one has to come to the mode of Shuddha Sattva. And Shuddha Sattva is higher than even Sattva. And there's a difference between Shuddha Sattva and Sattva, which I just wanted to elaborate a little bit on. But the main point here is, since like what Sanatan Gopiraj Prabhu said, since everybody has an opportunity to go back to Godhead, and going back to Godhead entails that we become to the stage of Shuddha Sattva, therefore it is imperative for everybody to cultivate these Brahminical qualities. So that's the starting point, which is that we need to cultivate Brahminical qualities, and that potential is there, which is what Sanatan Gopiraj Prabhu highlighted. Having said that, there are certain qualities which look like good, the mode of goodness, but which are actually not. If we understand it, it will help us to come more to the platform of mode of goodness. For example, if you go to Bhagavad Gita 14.6, there, I think in the purport, it's mentioned that somebody in the mode of goodness is happy. Somebody in the mode of passion is very active. And somebody in the mode of ignorance is very helpless. He feels helpless. I can't do anything. Now, we see many times that people are very active doing various work. Does it mean that that's mode of passion alone? And we see the foremost example of that is Srila Prabhupada. In the last, 12 years, 14 years of his life, he traveled so much, set up 108 temples. Anybody who knows to even set up one temple knows how tough it is to do even one temple. Very active. And so do we call Srila Prabhupada as in the mode of passion? No. Being active for one's own happiness is what is the mode of passion. Being active for Krishna is actually Shuddha Sattva. Now, let me go to one step further on the same lines. Many times, like say for example, you will be having the Janmashtami celebration in your area, whichever area it is. You may work with some other devotees to celebrate the Janmashtami festival, get more people to come, see the deity, take a book, they get prasadam, get benefited, etc. As long as the motivation is that, it is fine. It's okay. It's like we are endeavoring for transcendence. We are trying to endeavor for Shuddha Sattva. That is nice. But when the same activity comes to the stage where we are just do program after program, we just are busy, but our focus, our consciousness is not on trying to please Guru and Krishna, then it comes to the mode of passion. So same activity, Srila Prabhupada was active, we too can be active. But many times we are busy with no productive output. Productive output means twofold. One is the internal heart's productive output, that how am I deepening my dependence and appreciation for Krishna? That is the inwardly. And externally is, what is it that I am doing for God? It may not be there. So you often see that, especially in workplace. There is process after process. You do A, B, C, D, E. But why are you doing it? Sometimes, as a devotee, like to be a Brahmana, you have to go and question somebody saying, these are some useless processes being built in the system. Maybe we can cut it short and let us do just this. That is an expression of trying to come to the stage of a Brahmanical quality where avyartha kalatvam, you manifest the aspect that I do not want to waste time doing something for the heck of doing it or to keep oneself busy. So even in our daily life, we can do something while we do our occupational duties. That's probably one example. Second example, I mean, whenever we want to learn how to do something, it is sometimes easier to go and look at how not to do it. For example, one of the in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 25, text 2 to 5, there are the verses about the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Dissatisfaction, even in gain, is an example of how one is in the mode of passion. We don't realize this because we have not read these scriptures carefully, but most of the times we are dissatisfied even when we get something. So a conscious endeavor to come out of it is something that is required. So I'll take the same example of Srila Prabhupada. Whenever his disciples used to come in front of him and said, Prabhupada, we have distributed 100 books. What would Prabhupada say? Distribute 1,000. So I can ascribe the same thing to Prabhupada, right? No, but he is dissatisfied even in gain. But again, we look at it that for the sake of Krishna, it's ever expanding. But for him, internally, it is not that I am unhappy. He wants Krishna to get even more happy. So we need to know how to understand this. And another example of coming to the Brahmanical quality is this quality of audacity. Audacity is that to somebody who has, like in the beginning of the series of lectures, Maharaj mentioned there are respect at different levels. Respect to somebody senior in age, somebody who has a higher position, like a king, and etc., etc. And then finally, the last highest position of respect came to a devotee. But that doesn't mean that we should not give respect to people earlier in that list, number 1 to number 8. So audacity is sometimes mistaken as truthful speech. Like, for example, sometimes we may say, I'm just speaking the truth, but it may be trying to basically denigrate or demean somebody else. Especially, and we should be very careful, like a Brahmana is very careful that when they ask a question or when they make a point, it doesn't demean the character of another person. For example, one common thing, if I were to tell, or maybe forget that, let's say somebody were to tell me, you should do this. And if I respond saying, have you done that? Has somebody else done that? Who does it like that? That is audacity, right? So we don't look at whether that point is important or not. We look at the inherent thing here is, how come you are telling me this? And this is one of the qualities which we need to cultivate, because when we cultivate the quality that, okay, no matter where it is coming from, let me see what is the value in the point that is being said here. Then we come to a position where we can listen to the words of a sadhu. Otherwise, even when we come to a sadhu, it will finally come and say, how can he say this to me? Right? So that problem does come into the picture. And 1 minute. In today's slide 2, Radha Krishna Prabhu, he brought out a very nice point about this whole culture. I mean, we are talking about this Brahmanical culture because that is the pedestal to go to Shuddha Sattva. And Srila Prabhupada said something there. What he mentioned was, you American boys and girls are showing a lot of tolerance because you stop doing what you are used to do. You like to smoke, you like to drink, you like to do so many other things. But because I told you to stop it, you did it. And that is an example of a Brahmanical quality, that when we learn something is to be done, we endeavor to follow that. Not that I hold on to it saying, my father, my grandfather used to do it, my forefather used to do it, my entire family is like this only. This is our nature. I am not going to change. And this is a tougher part, actually. A very, very tough part, that we have acquired some nature because of our past proclivities. How to take it forward that Krishna is going to be pleased. So make a list of it. What would be very, very helpful is, there is a table compiled by His Grace Ravindra Swarup Prabhu. I'll post it in the group, that has the qualities of mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Each and every one of us can look at it and say, hey, this is the mode of passion that I associate myself with. This is the mode of ignorance. You just underline it. And then once in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you just see, I actively try to avoid it, saying, for this is for the sake of Krishna. And that's helpful. That's one way to do it. But having said that, there is one fundamental problem in this world, and that is that anything like this that we are trying to change, it becomes very tough as we grow older. That is why you see, in the past, the teaching and the training was for children. The Brahmanas, the children used to be sent to Gurukul, and the Brahmana used to teach everybody. The Brahmana, the Kshatriya, Vaishya, all of them, they used to be taught by the Brahmanas. In the past, you didn't find a Brahmana teacher coming and guiding on a daily basis an adult. An adult is supposed to go by himself and listen to a Brahmana and come back. But it was not like how a child used to be disciplined, because it was known in our culture that as a person grows older, it is tough to train them. And fortunately or unfortunately, most of us have got in touch with the path of devotional service after the age of 25, 30, something like that. And it's very tough for us to be submissive. So that is why it is said that being a proper disciple is not for the masses. It is for the classes or the evolved folks, in one sense. The class, I mean, these class folks should are the ones who should be cultivating Brahmanical traits, or to put it the opposite sense, those who are like too vengeful, like, you told this to me, I'm going to do this for you. That's the feeling of revenge is there. Those who have too much anger, those who have too much pride, those who have too much need for validation, too much need for appreciation, respect, competitive tendency, they find it very tough. And most of us fall in that category. So, given that this is the reality, there is no other way for us other than praying to the holy name, that we are in Kali Yuga, we are getting the right things at the wrong time maybe, but still it is the right time. It's not too late. And therefore, there is a lot of prayer that we need to do to the holy name to transform us. It's the holy name which is the pathway for us to cultivate these qualities. That's it, Prabhu. Does it help?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. The first part of your lecture, like, you helped me. We should not distinguish between devotees and non-devotees. So thank you for correcting me, Prabhu. And whole the series of, like, your words, very helpful, Prabhu. Thank you very much.
Sorry, again, 7:18 today.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for summarizing it so detailed, Shamkun Prabhu. Thank you. All right, then, Vancha Kalpatrubhesha Kripa Sindhu Bhavesha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavyo